Mhm. Hola. 9 p.m. Time to start. Come on, guys. Hello, guys. Welcome. Welcome, everyone. Hope you had a lovely day. Well, it depends on where you live. You're still having a lovely day, or maybe waking up. It's 9 p.m. here in Spain, and sun is still up. Hi, guys. We have friends from Iran, from Scotland, from Turkey, and I also see our guest who's already here. Woo! Where do we go today? Well, we go to a beautiful country. I can only say now that we travel to Europe. Okay? So, officially welcome everyone. Welcome to this new episode of Guides Talk. This is Anna and this is World License to Guides. Guys, we're about to launch our website. So very soon you'll be able to book tours with amazing guides from all over the world. So check our stories and check all our news to find out when the website will be ready. It's like a matter of few days, weeks maybe. So now, what do we do in Guide Talks? Kurdistan, hello! In Guides Talk, we meet every week one member of World License to Guides, and we talk about themselves, we talk about their places, their cities, their cultures, the food. So we give all tips needed for travelers who want to visit those countries. Hi Victor, welcome on board too. So guys, just to remember, sorry, there's a friend of mine who asked me a personal question. I'll write you, te contesto después, Johnny. So, last week I got a little bit confused, guys. We were in Rio de Janeiro in Brazil with the lovely and happy and energetic Daniela. Please, guys, go to World License to Guides profile as an IGTV. We have all our interviews, including Daniela's one. And what about today? Oh, Tunisia, Galapagos. Hi, guys. Hi, everyone. Today, we leave America. We fly back to Europe and we fly east. A little bit more. Our destination is Ukraine, and in Kiev we are going to meet a beautiful and lovely girl, an amazing tour guide who is Victoria. Let's see if Victoria comes soon, because I'm looking forward to know her country and to know her a little better. Hola! How are you? Hi, Victoria.
I was a little bit earlier, dear Anna. I'm sorry.
Early? Why?
Because you were talking something and I just pressed the button
No,
that,
no, no, no. I was
oh,
just
no.
introducing you and waiting for you to come. I would like to improve my skills as, TV star. And I hope that one day I will get to that point when I say the guide's name and the guide's face comes. But still, still have to work, on it a little bit more. But anyway, you look beautiful. With beautiful
Thank you, you
hair.
too. You
Thank you.
too.
Well, it's thanks to my
Oh, yeah.
fan because
Oh,
it's
yes.
39 today in Sevilla, in Spain. What about you? How's the
We
weather?
we have like 35, 34 these days. Sometimes it's lower, but yes, we have the same hot temperature this weeks, the second week in a row.
Wow, that's very hot. That's
That's
very
hot for
hot.
us. I know maybe in Spain it's like you used to live with such a weather, right?
Yes,
But
yes,
for
we
us,
do.
for Ukraine these last several years, the summers began to be real hot, and it's very unusual for us.
So which is also, this is for travelers, which is the normal temperature that people can find, like in a, like I don't know, like in a busy big season, you know, the average temperature.
Oh, so and we are like half of the year it's cold, half of the
Yes,
year it's warm. We have like all four seasons.
together.
I mean, we have all four seasons, they change, and summers can be 30, 35. In May, it can be 25. So I would suggest, for example, for visiting Ukraine, May. It's a beautiful
May,
time when
that's okay. So
it's
spring.
spring, and I like September and October. Also,
Okay, so
mild,
it's like here.
comfortable.
It's like here for us. Indeed,
Mm.
I've seen pictures in your Instagram profile with beautiful flowers in
Mhm.
May. So it must be a nice moment. So guys, just write down, take note. And well, spring and fall can be good periods to visit, to meet Victoria. But first of all, let's start with the first question. I would like to know about you, about who you are,
Mhm.
your background, and everything you want to tell us about you, Victoria.
Oh, so that's a big part. So I'm a tour guide. I'm your colleague. For the past 6 years, I provide tours, private tours, for the English-speaking tourists. Private tours. I don't do big groups. I don't work for tour agencies. I have started from self-employed, working on my own, and I continue doing that until today.
That's awesome. That's the best thing to do.
Yes, I think, one day there just came a moment when I realized I want to be self-employed, because I of course, I worked for companies, I worked in offices, but that when you are the boss for yourself, and
Yes,
you love what you
absolutely.
do, that's 100% shot when you just have everything going fine.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And for how long have you been guiding?
I started 2015,
Like me.
like
Nice.
you. Oh,
Yes.
but
And
how did you work? Uh-huh.
no, 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 go on, please go ahead.
Did you start with agency or you also started like a private guide?
I would say that 80% of my tours have always been with private, travelers, but many of
Hmm.
them come through agencies. So couples,
Hmm.
families, sometimes they
Yeah.
write me directly, some other times they
Hmm.
um, they come through an agency. But I don't have a contract. I didn't sign anything for anybody. The agencies call
Yeah.
me and I say, yes, I'm available. No, I'm not. That's exactly that. I have another question, because lately I've been knowing, it's surprising that many guides started studying something completely different, and then suddenly one day they decided to change, or they met this job and they became tour guides. Is it the same for
Hmm.
you? What did you study?
Oh, so my major is I'm teacher of English and German.
Oh,
That's I never worked as a teacher on a single day of my life. But since the graduation of the university, I was working for international companies in the expat community because I believe that a bigger part of actually why I became a tour guide, I'm totally involved in this atmosphere of English speaking environment because I have it's strange, I have a big passion and love for English language since I was 11. The first day when I heard the English language at school, because I'm a child of Soviet Union, and in Soviet Union we started from 11, not like 6, 7 like now. In Ukraine, children study from 6 or 7. 11 years I was, but I was just so like passionate, and I knew, yes, that's what I want to do. So this is why I entered the university. But no, I didn't work as a teacher. I was working for, in Ukraine, if you have a good level of English, you can always find a
A
well-paid job,
job.
an
Mm-hmm.
international company, so especially in the capital. Yeah, I was working in finances, in bank, then in IT, in telecommunication. I have some other skills, not only tour guide, and I finished different courses, so I can do some other job.
Just in
But
case. Have it there, just in
you know,
case.
dear Anna, I live in Ukraine. I probably how it's all. You have to survive. Always you have
Yes.
survive, and you can't just sit on one place and wait because there always something happening, not only here but in the world in general. So that's how it is. But I believe that at the day when I realized I want to do this tour guiding, because I had some experience of showing Kiev old town area to the shareholders and partners when I worked in the bank. I had
Mm-hmm.
some small, but of course we cannot even compare it to the full meaning of what a tour guide is, right?
Yes.
That was just showing for tour guide, and we need to have a certificate. At least in Ukraine, it's like you should have a certificate. It's only 3 months, but
Mm-hmm.
that's what allows you to do this job. And of course, that's not enough to be a guide. All the knowledge I take and learn myself, that's all my life, because I have a natural love to history, not only of Ukraine, but of the world. I like this reading, researching, watching something. So everything coincided,
Mm-hmm.
everything just boom. And
Yes.
I remember the day when I just took a piece of paper, and just in half an hour, I wrote like the so-called business plan, as we can call it, but I still don't know what is business plan. How I will call my website, which domain I need to buy, which keywords I use, which articles I will write, which pages I create, the tour. So everything I just wrote in a half an hour, and then I started just implementing. And it's such a big shame I can't find this piece of paper, because it would be a big treasure, a memory for me, because it's how it all started. So
Absolutely.
I'm immensely happy. I love this. I love, and during these weird times that we are having, I was just I was not desperate, but very low.
I was. That's
You
the right
you
word. I was desperate. I was talking to the mirror, you know? I needed to talk. I was talking to the mirror. So we're going to talk about COVID and all this weird period in a while. I have a couple of comments here. So I have Boami00 who's asking, what's the subjects guide? That's perfect. So, welcome, Boami. This is World License to Guides. It's a community of licensed tour guides from all over the world. Every week, we have an interview with one of our members. And this week, we are lucky because you are going to discover Ukraine with the Victoria. Okay, and then so welcome again. And then Gisela says, when you're a tour guide, you don't stop learning. Absolutely. I always have a couple of 2, 3, 4 books, and I go to guided tours. But as a as a visitor, we're always
Mhm.
learning
Yeah,
something new, even from visitors. I think even
yeah,
from tourists,
yeah.
especially that, as you said, you do private tours. I think that this type of connection, exchanging opinions,
Yes.
conversation, helps you learning all the
You
time.
know, you know that. Yeah, that's absolutely what I love it. It's a constant contact, communication, exchange of energy. You give, but you receive,
A
and you
lot.
discuss. It's an amazing thing. Yeah, that's what I
Absolutely.
love.
You know that I think that we have a lot of things in common. I'm not going to ask you how old you are because it would be a shame for me. But a lot of details that you're telling me remind me of my experience, my background. So maybe later, privately, I will ask you how old you are.
I believe we are very close, almost same. So
Okay, want to
that's
say
not a
it?
secret. I'm 39.
Really? Are you kidding me? You
No,
say 3 and 9?
nine,
Really?
yeah, yes.
What do you eat, darling? What do you drink?
Well, I think I need to write a good guide and book for the girls because
Yes.
there are some secrets. I'm
Oh,
joking.
absolutely. I
I'm
thought
joking.
you would be much younger than me. I'm not gonna say 10 years younger. That would be maybe too much, but I would say maybe 31, 32, no more than that. I'm 36, and I look older than you. Let's finish this. I don't
No,
like you
no,
anymore,
stop that,
Victoria. I'm
stop
gonna go.
that.
I'm gonna go. I'm
You
sorry,
can't
I
say
have a
so.
meeting. Just joking, just joking. So that's perfect. A good point to start, as an introduction about you. But what about the places where you guide? Do you move around the country, or you just work in Kiev? Or tell us a little bit about the highlights of places that you show around.
I work in Kiev, in the capital of Ukraine. I love the city. Yes, I'm very much into the city. So that's enough for me at least now. I continue learning about it, discovering the city, and of course there are, you know, when we speak about this part of the world where I live, the Eastern
Mm-hmm.
Bloc, let's be honest, Ukraine is not the country where even you, Anna, for example, would plan to go, right? You don't
Not
have it any.
now, not yet, absolutely
Yeah,
not.
and
Try.
there are so many people like you, they don't even maybe know or heard or even think of going to Ukraine.
Mm.
Why would you go there, right? Um, who comes to explore? From my own experience, what I see in 6 years, people who are deeply interested in the history of the Eastern Bloc of Europe. So those who like learning about Soviet time, yeah, because anyway we were in Soviet Union. So those who like this history, Second World War, Eastern Front, because all Ukraine was occupied, and during the 4 years here were real battles, and Ukraine was totally engaged, and that's a big layer of history about that. So those people come, and just in general, those who like hidden hidden gems, traveling not where the tourists usually go, so they try to always discover some new cities. But when people get here, uh, they they tell me we could never expect it's like this here, because they think of Kiev. How do you think of Kiev, Anna? You saw my photos. No, that's not
Yes.
honest.
Now I know almost every
Yeah,
place in the
yeah,
world thanks to you.
because I'm doing my best promoting the, but what they think, it's Soviet grayish, Soviet architecture, very simple, poverty, nothing special. Maybe even then thinking of some strange things here. But when they come, they are just surprised and shocked, and they see all those colors and golden domes and culture and young people and food and all these green parks and the beautiful city that is alive. Kiev is live. Many people tell me, I can't explain how I love Kiev. It's alive. It's like it's a spiritual place. But of course, there is a lot of history. It's an ancient city. It's more than 1,000 years. This year we
Wow.
celebrated 1,550 years. So Kiev Kiev was founded as a city. So it started to grow from 5th, 6th century. But we can call it a city in its full meaning from the 9th century. So here was well-developed trade, here were money, here was government, city governments, here were ruling princes, dynasties. So that was a very well-developed state, and here was deep history. So many historical events happened during these thousands years. There is so much to tell and to see, of course, because we have we have two UNESCO sites in Kiev. Not many, I
Really?
know.
Which one?
We have the cathedral that has been standing for 1,000 years. Saint Sophia Cathedral was founded in 1011. It has never been destroyed. It overcame all those occupations, revolutions, and wars. It's a miracle for us. Now it's a museum and protected by UNESCO and government, so it's possible to visit. And Kiev-Pechersk Lavra monastery and caves. The caves where monks, hermits, I would say, lived. So they lived in the caves under the ground till the rest of their lives.
Wow.
They never went out, Anna. They enclosed themselves in the cave and were praying for humanity day and night, had very ascetic way of life, almost no food. And they were praying for us and died in that cave. So for that, Kiev-Pechersk Lavra is a holy place. It's like Jerusalem for an Israeli. In Kiev, Lavra is a holy place for all Christian Orthodox, all Ukrainian, Belarus, Russian, Georgian, Greece, whatever. Everywhere where there are Orthodox Christian people, they come as pilgrims and a pilgrimage to Lavra. And that's a second UNESCO heritage site. So that's an experience, that's quite an experience. When you go to those caves,
I bet it is.
People are just
surprised. Well, anyway, you know that I see the tour guide in you right now. You're like doing a guided tour because you cannot stop, adding details to what you're talking about. And especially I see that you love history because you're always adding some history to what you say. It's not just, yes, this is, and that is, and this is, and that is, one and two. You're, building a full sentence. I like it. Like, guys, you can see the tour guide here. There's a real tour guide in front of you. So, I think that the tour guide got into your body, and you're not a person anymore. You're a tour guide. Victoria is fully 100% of tour guide. I'm joking. So, I have Tour Guide Scotland who asks us, what's your favorite country you like to talk about? I don't know if he's asking to you or to me. So if it's to me, I would say absolutely my home country, Italy, slash Sevilla, which is the city where I live. And what about you, Victoria? If you were the host of World License to Guides interview, which country would you like to talk about? Not your, of course.
Oh, whoa. What a question.
Say thank you to Tour Guide Scotland because he didn't say the name, so we both gonna answer.
Which country I would like to talk about? I believe England.
England. Oh, I also love England.
UK.
I think there can also be a lot of differences between your country and England, as well as my country. Like for me, you were saying that people are surprised when they see the highlights, the places and the colors of Kiev. I think I would be surprised. Actually, I was, imagining, feeling the surprise just listening to you, because here we have things completely different. So it's always, when you visit a place that's completely different from your city and your country, it's like, whoa. Absolutely. You may love the place where you live and, the features of that place. But when you go to one place that is completely different, maybe you like it even more. I don't know if you get the point, if you understand what I mean.
You mean, I understand what you mean. I can say about this, but on the opposite. What I mean, for example, I was always dreaming of visiting Rome, and I visited Rome, and of course the biggest wish, the first thing you want to see, Colosseum, and you know what, I was not impressed being inside. I'm sorry, I know
you have to be honest.
Rome is incredible. I would like to be back. I love Rome. But the outer construction, outer design, I loved more than when I was inside. Maybe I don't know what's, but that was you say that you think something, you imagine things, but on the place it can be even or much better or worse, much worse, or even what you did not expect. So with me, it was such a thing with Rome,
Well,
with
that's
Colosseum, with Colosseum.
I mean, travelers, we all have an opinion about everything. And oh, I found a mistake. It was my fault. I read country, but tour guide Scotland asked it century. So this is for you because you said that you like
Ah.
history. Which century of your history you love to talk about to
I
your
love to talk.
guest?
I love to talk about ancient times when Kiev was a thriving capital of the Ruthenian state. Because from 9th to 13th century, Kiev was very high on political arena, and yes, I love that period. And I love, of course, Second World War, Eastern Front arena. I research this topic. I'm passionate about World War II. I read, watch, and I'm very, very deep in this topic. And I like when I have guests who particularly come and book a tour based on Second World War, I'm like, oh yes, that's it.
Happy. Awesome.
Happy.
Nice. That's good. That's good. So
But I
it'll
can
be
talk
like
on
the very beginning and the most recent past, you may say, both parts of the history. Nice. That's good. But anyway, you're a tour guide, so you're happy to talk about everything,
yeah,
right?
yes,
And
of
to meet
course.
everyone. And
Yeah.
so, talking about tours and experiences as a tour guide, do you have any good memory or any nice or funny moment happening in your life as a tour guide?
Funny moment. Well, I can
Or
say there
something
were
beautiful that happened to you, like something nice or kind, from a guest. I don't know.
to be honest, I don't know, believe me or not, I'm lucky I have nice people, really nice, kind, amazing people. But to be back to the funny story, I have a funny story connected with Spain.
Let's see.
My Spanish tourists. So
Woo!
I had a tour, a 6 hour tour with a group of 9 guys from Barcelona. But why they came? Because we don't have so many Spanish or even Italian guests. Why they came? The Spanish guy was marrying a Ukrainian girl, so they made a bachelor celebration. The guys in Kiev and the girls, Spanish girls and fiancés, they went to south of Ukraine to the seaside, and the guys stayed in Kiev. And well, that was a nice walking day. So nothing was. I did not expect what happened next. But at one of the moments, the bridegroom, I think you know this tradition. He wore a dress, a female dress,
Uh-huh.
polka traditional Spanish polka red
Yes.
color dress.
Yes.
Made a makeup. And what he told me, hey, you know, Victoria, what we should do, that's our tradition. We should they had now I remember they either had to sell something to strangers, to people in the streets, to receive money, or to do
Rosemary
something fun,
was like rosemary or something like that. That's what people do
something
here.
small, something small. No, he had to sell it and to receive money back. That was his task, and he had to approach every passerby in the street, not every, but whom he considered, and to offer this, to sell this thing. Or also he had to do something funny, to sing something or dance. I don't know. They said it's a Catalonian tradition. That's
Uh-huh.
how it was. But so imagine we are walking this big group of Spanish-looking guys in Kiev streets, which is quite rare. Kiev, not, that's crowded with tourists. We don't see many different nationalities. So, and they were, the one is in the dress approaching people. Some are like, you know, embarrassed. Some are fun, like very easygoing, and some people walking on the opposite street whistling to us and shouting something, you know. So that was such a, like, I can't say I was, no, that was fun, that was cool, but that was a day which, of course, it was absolutely like not the tour that I used to have, talking about history,
Yes, of
culture,
course.
whatever. It
Of
turned
course.
out that it was, I didn't even know the many of the details because we booked it last moment. So that was like a culture shock for me because I didn't know this tradition. And a nice day with this with the guys from
Well, a
Barcelona. So
different tour, right? Like, I
yes,
mean,
totally different.
maybe I think that maybe you could expect that in advance because the reason for their journey wasn't especially cultural. They were coming for something
Yeah,
completely different. And in fact,
yeah,
I'm surprised that they booked a guided tour while they were
yeah,
doing such kind of trip. I mean, I've
yeah,
never
yeah.
seen people, you know, having found that way with a guided tour. But anyway, nice. I'm sure. But so they were from Spain, you said?
Barcelona, Barcelona.
Barcelona. Ha ha ha. Muy bien. So I'm
Yes, I
happy.
know.
I'm happy that you have a good memory with Spaniards. Ha ha.
Yeah, that's quite rare to have such kind of tours because usually it's a normal tour about sightseeing. But yeah, that's kind of
It's
experience.
funny. It's different.
Yeah, nice memory for me.
Muy bien, muy bien. So, and now you said it at the beginning, and I think that now we can talk about it a little bit better. You mentioned this weird period, sorry, this weird moment. It's been lasting more than 1 year. The moment,
Oh.
which is the pandemic, which is COVID-19. So I would like to know both how things are going now, how things went, you know, in your country, and also, of course, about you personally, how you spent the pandemic and the lockdown and all that period.
Well, the pandemic was kind of, yeah, that was kind of time when I was not depressed, but I was feeling desperate at some moments. I was honestly, I was hoping that it finish next month and next and next. And I was, yeah, I was living on savings for about a year. I was just, I, could, I couldn't get in my head that, well, it doesn't look it's gonna finish soon. But there came one day. So of course I tried to be involved in tour guiding. I did virtual tours. I started there were not many.
Mm-hmm.
Mm, and to be honest, that's not my cup of tea, virtual tour. I don't know if you tried.
No, I've been
That's
offered many times, and I always said, okay, if I really, 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 really need it at any moment, we'll try it. But I like, close
yeah,
contact with people. I
yeah.
like to walk with them and not just see them. So I agree with you, but I didn't even try.
You didn't even try, but I tried. I'm curious. I like to try new things, so I did. You know what is complicated? What was the most complicated for me? If you just want to know, I can tell you what was most complicated. You talk with a person who is just watching with you on the screen. It can be even not one person and even not one screen, and they can switch. And there can be even no one on the screen because people can watch not showing themselves sometimes, you know.
Yes.
They can do some things during that hour or they are bored or whatever. So you just talk. You don't understand. You Is it interesting? You want to see reaction. I'm emotional person. I like this. I like seeing how the reaction, if they like, if it's funny, if it's tragic, if it's interesting, if they're curious. So but you don't see, there is almost no feedback. Like, you just talk and talk. And what is moreover, you have to talk twice with more efforts, because
Yes.
when it's live communication, it's live. Yeah, yes. There can be a pause, a look, a glance, just waiting for what the person is replying or answer. But that's only you talk non-stop 1 hour,
Yes. Yes.
and there
Yes.
is silence from that side of the screen, and you just, oh, is it 1 hour? Okay, we did it. So but it's quite an experience. I also did that was I telling about streaming, live streaming, when you go walk and stream. From home, I did a couple from home, just presentation from the laptop. That's a little bit another experience, but that's, of course, that's not even close to what we can call, what we tour guides, and we understand with you what we can get from the live tours. So yes, I was doing this little bit, but I was looking forward when this will finish and we will have guests. I had some guests during that, even one or two, maybe within half a year. Um, but that's, of course, that's not enough. That's
Not
not even.
enough. Absolutely.
I began to have tours from May.
Mm-hmm.
Since May, you know that Ukraine is open. So
Mm-hmm.
Ukraine, like we had 2 or 3 lockdowns when it was closed, but for a month or two, it was open, almost all pandemic. But of course, we understand there are restrictions from the side of travelers. They have
Of
restrictions, not
course.
we. We are open. You just need a PCR test and you come buy tickets. But from May they started coming, and now
Mm-hmm.
it's not even half of what we had before COVID. Not even half of the capacity, but at least we have. I am happy I can have tours. I can have live tours, real tours.
Absolutely. That's a real one. I
The,
like that you added live real. I was thinking of what you said, the explaining, the bad feelings during, well, not bad feelings, at least different feelings.
yeah,
And when you are next to your guests or the family or the group or whatever, just looking at their faces, because something that we learn, through the experience, you see if they are confused, if they're upset, if they're gonna ask a question, if they're bored or whatever, if they like what they say, if they're looking for something. So
yeah,
I think that is
yeah,
something that a virtual tour cannot give. A virtual tour provides perfect
hmm
information, so it's good for people who cannot travel, and
hmm
we always give 100% of what we have, but of course a real experience is, especially for us, is something completely different. Victoria Severin Live says your tour was great. Thank you so much, Victoria. You have a fan base. I've seen more than one comment. I
Yes,
remember
Victoria
that virtual tour.
was my tourist recently. Yeah, she came from Germany and she booked a tour with me. Yeah,
So Rishi is asking, is Ukraine open for tourism? And she
yeah,
just said yes. Thanks for these experiences. Hi, Elena from Bucharest. Hi, cariño. I would say in Spanish to her because she understands honey and flowers and nice faces. That's good. And so you said that you had more than one lockdown, right?
yeah, like 2 or 3.
Were they long?
No, one was just 1 month. The first one was maybe 2 months. I don't know, maybe two, maybe even just two. By lockdowns, no, Anna, by lockdowns, I meant that the borders were closed.
Okay.
But if you mean red zone restrictions, we had it as everywhere all the year round. Yellow zone, red zone, orange. It was changing mostly. It
Yes.
was red. Everything was closed. Public places, public transport closed. Yes, we had a lot of that during this time.
But
like
you
everywhere.
weren't forced to stay at home all day
No,
and
no,
not
no,
going.
no.
Okay,
Like
okay, but that's a very hard part of it. Like spending 72 hours or more at home until you don't need to go to the grocery or you have to walk your dog. In that case, you're lucky. Everyone loved to have dogs during the lockdown because they
they
had the
could walk a
chance to
dog.
go out, of course, and the dog was in the street all day long. I used to walk
Yeah.
my dog 2 times a day, but during pandemic I could do it 6 times a day, and my dog was tired. He was running away from me, hiding. Okay, so Rishi again is asking, I guess the vaccinated traveler are allowed only?
No, no. In Ukraine, it's anyone can come. If it's about Ukraine,
Yes, it is. It's about your
anyone,
country,
but with a
yes.
PCR negative test.
That's okay, that's good. I was say maybe enough.
Yeah, because
And now, since things are changing and we are going back slowly to our normal life, you already told us a lot of things about what we are supposed to find, what to expect. Even the surprise will be even better when we travel to Ukraine. But tell me something. Do you have any travel tip for visitors, for people who want to go and visit your beautiful country, something that they must know?
well, there's nothing special that just don't change currency in the airport. I don't know if how it's in your country, in Ukraine, in Kiev, it's very big difference from what you can get in the city. So if you wanna change your currency, do it in the city. When you land, don't take taxis, but you can download Uber or Bolt, which is so much helpful and cheap in Kiev. Very helpful. Free Wi-Fi on the airport. You don't need to pay extra what the taxi drivers almost robbing the incoming tourists who don't use this app. So if you don't use your app in your country, at least download it when you come here. So that's what I would. Don't expect that here will be English-speaking population. People, well,
That's what I
unfortunately,
expect. In fact, that's what I expect.
but
But
I know in Western Europe, in South and Northern, I was almost everyone can speak at least some. Here, it's far from that. Far from that. Maybe young generation in their 20s, those who study English from the first form, they can say something. In some restaurants they can, but don't expect it. So again, download some translator or something that you can just translate and show to people, at least to help you if you're traveling on your own. So these are like these basic things, and nothing special. Thieves there everywhere in every capital, pickpocketers, just
yes, they
take
are.
care of your things.
Yes, they
It's
are.
safe. It's a safe country. Every time my guests tell me it's so safe here, I feel so safer than in and that country. It's safe. You don't have to be afraid of. No one will rob you in the street. No one, never. It's safe. No one will. Yeah.
I have a question. How many days can be enough to visit Kiev, but without running too much, just enjoying in the city?
4 days.
4 days, good.
Yeah, like
That's good.
relaxed. You will see Kiev. You will see sites in the suburbs, in the outskirts. There are some interesting, yeah. One day you will just spend, I don't know if you like shopping or it depends on season. If it's summer, you can go to the beach. We have very nice areas with pools, have summer some yacht and boat trips along the river. So like it depends of season of the year. But
Okay, but 4 days, I think
for
it's okay. That's I think
okay,
it's the general, amount of days
yeah, I
that
think in
almost
Europe,
everyone can,
yeah.
I mean, can have as a free days, to travel. So that's perfect. That's good. It's not one of those places you say, "Oh, I don't have time. I have to come back next year if I can." So you have time enough to enjoy the city, see, visit monuments, and also enjoy, that's my next question, because you mentioned restaurants, food.
Oh, yeah.
Tell us a little bit about food.
Well, mm, about Ukrainian cuisine, what can I say? It's quite nutritious, you know. Our cuisine is based on the lifestyle of medieval Slavs who were working a lot in the fields. And when they came home, they had to eat good food, nutritious. So we have the meat that we eat, it's pork and poultry. But also, of course, we have beef, we have veal, we have this fish, yeah. But you know, pork is quite a fat, and there are a lot of dishes. But people eat it. We eat even, you know, we eat lard, pork's
Oh.
fat.
Also here in Spain, people eat that. They
Ah, you
love
eat?
it.
Oh,
Yes.
so,
Yes.
oh, really?
When you
Just,
take a slice of ham, not alone, at least maybe combined with something used as a fat, to cook, like for frying. But when you take a slice of ham, which is the Iberian ham, for to be the perfect one for people here, not for me, I hate that. Half of the slice must be fat, and the other half is the meat. That's how they
Anna,
like it. But you
that's
eat it, you really eat it.
Anna, no meat, okay? Just fat. Forget it. That's bacon. That's
Okay,
not,
you win. That's
we
not
eat,
bacon.
we eat just salo, which is lard, which is a piece of white fat, which it's good to have it frozen from the fridge. You make it in slices, very thin. Don't make such a face.
Go on, go ahead, go ahead.
And you know what? People can cook it in 16, 17 ways. We can smoke it, fry it, eat it raw, just fresh. I don't know what, salted with different spices. There are so many ways how we eat it, but we eat. I love it as well. I eat it.
Wow.
So you see, it's not a bad product because but that's what we so yeah, and we have like Ukrainian borscht, of course, maybe you heard about it. It's a soup based on beets, meat, cabbage, potatoes. It's red color. It's quite nutritious because it's based on meat, ribs of beef ribs, bouillon, and then so it boils. But the beets give this red color. That's like number one. It's almost in every family. We cook it every week or once in 2 weeks. It's number one thing. We also have it cold in summer
So, did you
without meat.
eat vegetables?
Yeah. We eat vegetables. You know, Ukraine is agricultural country. We have a
Yes.
plant abundance of vegetables, fruit, berries, and local things. We have a lot of that.
I was joking because you mentioned meat
Yeah,
in
because
every single food.
I
I
was
know, I
speaking
was
about,
joking.
yeah, but we eat potatoes a lot.
Oh, I love
Yeah.
potatoes. I love potatoes. So, do you know that the first country, well, sorry, the first city in Europe that sold potato, like first time that potato came to Europe from the New World was in Sevilla, but they had
Oh,
no idea of what to do with that plant. So they thought was just like a kind of, I don't know, a plant,
mm-hmm,
a fruit.
mm-hmm,
They had no
mm-hmm.
idea that they could eat it. Okay.
Oh, for real? Oh, very
Yes,
interesting.
yes, it was at the discovery of America.
Something.
Now, I think you gave us the best information, well, at least to be ready to travel to Kiev, but we will need a guided tour with you, of course, to make the most of our journey. We're out of time, but I have one last question for you, and this is my favorite one as usual. Where are you going to travel as soon as you will be able, or you have money, you have time?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's I definitely want to go to Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
I believe Tbilisi. I'm already looking. Georgia is a fantastic, authentic country with rich history. I have to go to Northern Europe. It's already planned. I was only in Denmark, in Copenhagen. So
Oh, I
Northern
love
Europe,
it. I love
yes, I loved it
Copenhagen.
as well. Yeah, and I believe Northern Europe definitely is worth exploring more. So I need to see more countries because I'm mostly here. And if speaking about longer term, like maybe in the nearest 2 years, of course, I would like to go to Bali. We Ukrainians, we love these far destinations because it's so cold, mostly more than half a year it's cold. And we like, Ukrainians, we like to travel Egypt, Turkey, these close countries, Thailand, Sri Lanka, and Bali, of course. But I have been to all those countries, but Bali is still, I was planning it, but it's in a long term, like longer term than Europe, because for us it's the ticket cost more than to Europe. We can fly easy, so we are very close, and the tickets are not expensive, but it's the nearest 2 years. So
Wow, that's interesting. Well, we have some
and
destination in common too. Yes.
Porto in
Porto in
Portugal. Oh,
Portugal.
Porto.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
lovely. That's beautiful.
That's actually what I planned to do. But instead of Porto, I went to Vienna. Somehow, I don't know why I went to Vienna in summer, and it was so hot. It was
You took the
so
wrong flight, maybe?
maybe something happened with my head. And it was 5 days of heat like this, and in Vienna, in Porto, at least you can have a sea side. And in Vienna, we were
Yes,
just
not
in the
far
city.
from there.
So at that moment, but I will go to Porto for sure. Oh, you see so
Well,
many plans.
yes, too many, too many. Well, we have time. So we have Victoria again, who's saying that Sevilla is unbelievable, unbelievable, beautiful. Porto is great. She loves every place. She loves everything
She's
in
a
the world.
traveler. She travels a lot. Oh, lucky,
And then we
lucky.
have time for one last question because, guys, it's time to go. But Tour Guide Scotland always has interesting question. So, how is the folk music scene? He's interested on music. He always asks us about music. So,
Oh,
anything about local, if people come to Spain, we say, oh, go to see a flamenco show or something like that.
ah.
Anything related to popular music that people should know and maybe add to their experiences in Kiev?
But do you mean folk or do you mean just music? Because of course we have a lot of live concerts. We have in every
Like
pub there is.
local music, like your music.
We have it, almost in many pubs and restaurants there is live music because people love it here. So there are really nice. It can be rock music, it can be pop, Ukrainian. We like our Ukrainian folk music very much. It's very Ukrainian is very beautiful language. It's soft, and when it's being sung, it sounds so beautiful. And I even listen to it, and I always cry when I listen, even when I'm
Oh,
happy in my life. You can't listen Ukrainian folk music without tears. It's so touching
oh,
and emotional. So yes, if you come and you're lucky and there is some music event, festival or something, we have a lot of our Ukrainian bands. People like music here because we are singing nation. So you will definitely enjoy. That's uh,
wow,
that's for sure.
that's very good. So, thanks to Tour Guide Scotland for
Yeah,
asking this question. Next one will be, can she please sing? I know him already, but
me.
well, sometimes he asks us to sing, but I mean, maybe not sing, but since you mentioned the Ukrainian, and I've never heard the language. So, would you tell us just one sentence, like a sentence to close the interview, or
Oh,
something like that?
well, with great
For me,
pleasure. But I can recite rhyme. I like. Do you like lyrics? I like, for example, I like to learn lyrics, and just for myself. So this one, it's a Ukrainian language, Ukrainian. This one is about love. One of the
Mm-hmm.
Ukrainian poets. Так ніхто не кохав. Через тисячі літ лиш приходить подібне кохання. В день такий на землі розцвітає трава, і земля убирається зрання. Дише тихо і легко в синяву вона простягає до зір свої руки. В день такий розквітає трава на землі і тремтить від солодкої муки. Гей, ви зорі ясні, тихий місяцю мій, де ви бачили більше кохання? День такий розквітає трава на землі і тремтить. So that's a poem about love. But the
It's
language is
awesome.
beautiful.
It
It's
was
beautiful.
awesome,
You
Victoria,
agree?
really.
You
Yes, I
agree?
love it. I love
Yeah.
also because I mean you have like a sweet and like a musical voice, but the language is beautiful.
But it's because
I'm so happy.
the language lies like this. You know,
Mm-hmm.
if the sounds and letters, if there were more vowels or more consonants, it will sound different. So the language is a singing. You know what I will tell you? A very quick thing, couple seconds. I'm half Ukrainian, half Kazakh. My mom is Kazakhstan.
Mm-hmm.
And when she came to Ukraine, my family, they spoke Russian. My dad served in the military. He spoke Russian in Soviet army. My mom spoke Russian because she's from Kazakhstan. And when I was marrying, and they met with my husband's family, who are purely Ukrainians from village. And when my mom heard my future mother-in-law, speaking Ukrainian, after the meeting, my mom told me, "Oh, you know what? She is talking as if she is singing.
Mm.
How can it be?"
Oh.
And I remember these words. My mom is not with me now, but I remember this word, and yes, that's it about Ukrainian
Oh,
language.
that's
That's it.
lovely. That's
Yes.
lovely.
So,
Do you see in the comments the applauses by everyone? So
well,
we're absolutely out of time, but I think it was worth
yeah, yeah,
because we had a wonderful time. I did, and so did the
yeah.
audience. I can see it from the comments and the questions and the faces. Just look at Abderrahim's face just above. He fell in love. Mhm. And it's not
Oh, Abderrahim.
easy to make our boss fall in love. So, Victoria, it's been an absolute pleasure having you with us. Guys, if you want to watch this interview again or want to share it with your friends, you will find it in about 10 minutes or maybe less. It depends of internet connection at my home in IGTV section in War License to Guides profile. Next week, we are going to travel somewhere else, and it's a country that I love. Again, I love all
Oh,
countries, and I love all my colleagues.
I'm
I love
curious.
everyone. So, Victoria, really a pleasure. I had a wonderful time with you. You don't speak Spanish, right? You don't.
No.
So if I say un besito, I mean, you understand I'm saying a kiss. Un abrazo is a hug. And well, I hope we meet one day in
Yeah,
Kiev or
yep.
in
In
Sevilla.
Sevilla. Yes. Thank you very much, dear Anna. It was an honor and it's such a pleasure to. I'm so happy to be a part of this awesome community that Abdul and you are managing. So thank you very much. And welcome to Kyiv someday.
Oh, thank you. Goodbye, Victoria.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.